Hello all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another video from Let's DevOps. A couple of videos back, when we were deep diving into Jenkins, we saw how you can install and register a Jenkins runner on your local Unix environment. Similarly, since we are now looking into Bitbucket, Bitbucket also provides you the opportunity to have your own installed runners instead of using the default runners that the Bitbucket cloud provides. So let's see how you can get your own runner installed on your Linux environment and what are the things that you need to configure in order to get your runner up and running. Without wasting much time, let's get started. Now, pretty much all of the CI/CD pipeline tools follow the same concept. So it's not very different from one tool to the other. So if you have done it in Jenkins, it's pretty much the same for GitLab. It's pretty much the same for Bitbucket as well. Yes, probably here and there, one or two terminologies, a couple of naming conventions could change, but the process is really straightforward and pretty much the same across all of these CI/CD tools. Right, so this is my repository, and let's say instead of executing this pipeline on the default runners that Bitbucket provides, I want it to get executed on my local machine. How do I get the runner installed? On the repository settings, left side you see, on my repository, on the left pane you see repository settings. Get to there, scroll down, and you should see pipelines section, and then runners. I've already configured one which is up and running, but we'll go ahead and create a new one. So you see that it's add runner. Click on that. What's my local environment? So I have a Ubuntu environment, as you all know, all those who have been following my YouTube videos. We have a Ubuntu environment that is installed via WSL on a Windows laptop. So that's our environment, and I want to get this runner installed on this Ubuntu environment. So let's pick a simple Linux shell. It also gives you other options: Mac, Windows. You can also directly install it on Windows if you want to run ARM64 architecture and much more. But I'll go for the simple Linux shell, and I need to give it a name. I would again give it DevSecOps CI. Let's give it some labels. I will give it, these are the default labels that it comes with, but in the case of huge organizations, you need to give very specific runner labels based on projects or whatever classification you want to have with. But this is very important because when you are referencing in the pipeline, you are going to reference the uh, labels, thereby determining, okay, this particular stage needs to get executed on this particular machine. Uh, so this makes very great importance, right? And then we give next, and then pretty much that's it. It then guides you with all the steps that you need to follow one after the other. What's the first thing? You need to download the runner.zip. So if I go to my local, I've already done this. So let me log into, switch to Bitbucket folder ls. So when you execute this first command, it's going to go to the internet and then download the runner.tar.gc file. Then second, it's going to create a directory called Atlassian Bitbucket Pipeline Runners and then extract the star.gc contents into this folder. Yep. And thirdly, cd into this and then execute the command. So if I cd into the Atlassian Bitbucket runner, I will see again another set of folders. I will cd into bin. That's where the start.sh exists. You see start.sh, and that's the location where we need to execute the final command, which is the start.sh command. So this start.sh basically needs a lot of arguments that uh, Bitbucket itself will help you. So it needs the account UID, repository UID, runner UID, OAuth client, token for the authentication authorization. All of that is given by Bitbucket. You just don't have to worry about anything. Just copy the content and then hit, and then you should get your uh, agent up and running. So what I do is I will come here and then hit enter. Boom. It gets started and finally it waits with this message updating runner state to online. Updating, has it already updated? I can go to my runner section. DevSecOps CI is already online, which means the runner is up and running. How do I tell my pipeline to execute the step on this particular machine? So if I go here to my YAML or Bitbucket Pipelines.yaml, you see here I need to add couple of arguments like runs on and then give the runner label. Either I can give one or both. Just one should also work. I've just for reference given both the runner labels. When I give this, then Bitbucket pipeline knows that okay, so this pipeline has, let's say, 5 stages. First stage, there is no information about which runner. Then I will execute it on the default runner that Bitbucket Cloud provides. When I come to the second stage, I see run on this runner label, which means this particular stage alone I need to execute on this local machine, this Ubuntu machine. And then for the next steps, again, since I don't find this run on, I again go back to executing it on the default runners that Bitbucket provides. So that's the kind of sophistication, that's the kind of feature that you get. You can switch between hybrid uh, stuffs. You can execute the pipeline on multiple machines or as a hybrid between the cloud default runner and your dedicated machine. From my experience, more often than not, we don't do this hybrid jump of executing few stages on the cloud default runner and then few stages on a dedicated machine. Either it's completely on the cloud runner or completely on the individual virtual machine. But just to give you a sense that that is also possible is what I would want to show. Now, to facilitate this, every time I don't want to go ahead and then hit this command to get this runner up and running. So what I do is basically, if I come back, like I always do, oops, like I always do, I create a shell script that will do this for me. So basically, it will check if a runner already is online. Even before that, it will check whether a runner.tar already exists. If it exists, it will stop from downloading a new one. And secondly, it will check if a runner with the specific name that we have given a label already runs. If it's running, it will do nothing. If it's not running, it will go ahead and then bring it online. And so I have my environment up and running. Yeah, that's how I like to have it. Perfect. Yes, that's pretty much it. A pretty straightforward one. See, since we stopped or killed the way that the runner got started, it has now gone back to the offline status. Now, maybe just because of this, I get one more question. Hey, Karthik, now let's say I want to run it again. CD Atlassian bin, and then I execute the start command. Uh, if I've started manually, is this the only way, as an interactive way that it can get started? Can I not start it like as a background process? Yes, you can start it as a background process. There are multiple ways to do it. One way I could help you out is the no hub. Uh, so what you do is right in front of this executing command, give something like a no hub. Oops, yeah. Add at the end, add this. Uh, Basically, the no hub will write a output and it needs a file in which it needs to write the output. So basically, you create a runner.log file and then you silence the echoing printing output, but just redirect the entire output of this command to this runner.log file. In a way, this is also good because just in case something goes wrong with the runner, you always have a log file that keeps accumulating all of these logs. You can jump in and then check what's wrong and what happened, what made the runner to get crashed, and much more. I mean, this is not the best way to manage your runner logs. There are still different efficient industry practice ways, but this is a way to get yourself started in logging and monitoring. But we will look into all of it in more details in the further videos to follow. But once you do this and I hit enter, oops, sorry, my bad. redirect it to the runner.log, and boom, you see there is a process that's running, and then that's pretty much it. So if I go back to my Bitbucket, you can see that the runner is online, but here on the Unix terminal, there is no running process. It's running basically on the background. Perfect. That's pretty much it I had for today's session. Uh, I hope you all liked it. Uh, Please do like, share, subscribe, and drop in your comments if you have any doubts as well. Until next time, see you all. Take care.